Assalamu alaikum. Hello, everyone. I hope that you are doing well. In today's session, Dr. Ismail Abbasi, Assistant Professor in the Department of English in Higher Education Department, would talk about the significance of audience and channel in the writing process. As you are familiar with the concept that audience are the people, individuals, persons about whom you write something, a piece of literature, an academic piece of writing, a research article, or any other creative work that you want your audience to read and get benefit out of it. So, in this session, we would talk about three step writing process, and I would clarify why explaining the purpose is extremely important, justify the importance of audience analysis, outline the ways to collect relevant information informally, define media richness, and list factors to consider when choosing proper channel and medium. And also, the last point of this session would be to discuss how to establish good audience relationship. The three step process or the writing process, it includes planning, writing, and completion. So planning is the first stage where you plan, where you brainstorm, or where you note down all the relevant information in order for you to include all the ideas and the concept. So while composing this particular stage of planning, what you would do, take care of the need of the audience and their requirement, and if your audience are at the center of your process, then it will be very easy for you to write down and achieve whatever the target you want to achieve. So define your purpose is the thing that allows your energy to get focused and allow your abilities to have a kind of direction from it. So what is the difference between a general purpose and a specific purpose? What is credibility? A general purpose of a writing, you have to be ethical, you have to write something good, you have to write information, you have to be persuasive, and you have to write according to the target or the goals that you want to achieve out of it. But the specific purpose of writing process is extremely important. In order to do that, you have to make your writing on a very targeted narrow space, which allows your energy to have the kind of direction, have the kind of outline, and have the kind of objective which would allow you to achieve whatever the target at the end of your document that you want to achieve out of it. So credibility should be taken into consideration. Credibility is established when people trust you, when you are trusted, when your audience have the kind of understanding about you having some kind of standard, some kind of ethics, some kind of morality, and while doing so, all those individuals, whenever your name comes to the surface, so they have this kind of understanding or the kind of faith in you that you would be the one that is going to deliver, that is going to write, or that is going to speak about all whatever is ethically, spiritually, morally, and as well as related to wisdom would be true. So your credibility is extremely important. So questions what 4 questions and that you should ask yourself when trying to decide whether to proceed for the message or to leave the message. So in order to do it, first of all, the significant thing that I believe while writing a research project or while writing a research article or any type of creative official document, you need to identify your primary audience. So you need to know who are the individuals that are going to get benefit out of it, because it is the audience that allow you to create the document according to the level. If the audience are at the primary level or at the beginners level, then your language, your choice of vocabulary, your theme would be related to that. But if they are at intermediate level or advanced level, then the type of writing that you want to write out of it will have an entirely different approach, will have an entirely different perspective, and that perspective would be very advanced depending upon all the relatable knowledge that you could think out of that particular field about which you are going to write. Then determine the audience size. So this is also important. If you're writing for a small group, then your writing would be very different. But if you want to write it for a very general population or a larger group or a large public, then the type of writing would also differ, and the choice of vocabulary would be different, and your referent would be different. So determine the audience composition. So you have to see that how your audience is composed, and accordingly you have to create your document. Gauge your audience's level of understanding. According to their level of understanding, the choice of vocabulary, the choice of expressions, the use of grammar, and the use of surface and the deep structure, they would all vary from the individuals to the individuals about whom you are writing. So if you are writing for a very for non-natives, your language selection would be entirely different. But if you're writing for the professionals, your choice of vocabulary, jargon, register, all those things and proper format would be utilized, which could allow you to understand and to have this kind of use of highly sophisticated, sublime vocabulary and the format as well. So estimate your audience's probable reaction. So feedback is important. So you have to see that how your audience, they are going to react to that, and what kind of reception could you be able to achieve out of your writing. So according to their level, you have to create something that is going to make your writing as charming, attractive, and alluring. So depending upon the level, the size, the interest, and the understanding and the feedback or possible reaction that you could receive from the audience, so you have to compose your document accordingly while taking into consideration all these salient features of the audience or the target audience about which you want to compose your writing process. Next thing is that collecting information informally. So informal interaction is extremely important. Why so? Because this informal interaction could allow you to understand and could allow you to have the deeper understanding about the various working perspectives, various working themes, and various working variables. And because of that, you would be able to consider other people's point of view as well. So when you would be sharing your ideas or concept with other people, such as your supervisor, such as your friends, your colleagues, your class fellows, and other experts of that particular field. So in this way, you would be able to see that what would be their viewpoint, how are they going to view your document, and how are they going to have a look at your approach and the way you want to approach, whether it's practically possible, or does it have the kind of the pragmatic applicability in it, or you are just going to indulge yourself in the counter argument of your own argument. So it could be that you might negate your own idea or the topic. So browse through file. So browsing is extremely important. So you have to see and you have to select the relevant information, relevant data, relevant quality, and relevant quantity regarding that particular topic that you have in your mind, and you want to compose something out of it. So chat with your supervisor and colleague. They are the experts. They could guide you, they could direct you, and they could redirect your energies into the direction which probably might not be easy for you to achieve that. So you have to see and you have to apply your analysis regarding that particular topic while after formulating your discussion with the related people. Ask your audience for the input. So before writing, you could ask your audience's input, and if their input is positive and if their feedback is optimistic, then you could see that you might have go ahead. But if there is a kind of the problem, and if they have severe objection, or they could insert some kind of harsh criticism, that you might consider changing your opinion or position as a writer in that particular document. So what does your audience need? Have you provided all required information? Ask who, what, when, where, why, and how. So these are the extremely important things. So who, about whom you are going to write, and who is going to write on your behalf, and what are the themes about which you are going to write all those ontological questions, and then when would be related to methodology and the time period where you are going to write, and where is the kind of the place, and why is the kind of logic behind it, and you that is the kind of you could see question which could entail further subset of questions that could have axiological values, and last would be how, and how would be related to epistemological questions, and all those bases or all those ideas should be taken into consideration about the people who are involved in it, and the theme which you want to inculcate in your writing, and the time period and the location, and the reason and the logic about which you want to write, and the process or the format or the pattern you are going to write. So you have to take into consideration all these WH questions related to the information you have selected. So is the information accurate? You have to double check it, and you have to see that your information should be accurate, because the audience need accurate information. They can't be misled into false information or fabricated concepts or the ideas that could disprove your credibility, and this is how you might lose authenticity as well. So is the information ethical? You have to make sure that you follow proper ethics, morality, and code of conduct related to that particular field or that particular official matter. Is the information pertinent? Also, you need to see that how information, if it has the kind of level that it should be incorporated, or if it violates the all these codes which are moral, ethical, or philosophical codes. So what should you consider when deciding upon a channel or the medium? So what is meant by the media richness? When would you choose a rich medium? Think of the instances and the when you would use each of the following: video broadcast, memo, memorandum, face-to-face meeting. So all these mediums could have various types of implications, and various you could see or all those information that the kind of practical gathering of the data and all those things, such as writing a memo or face-to-face meeting is entirely convenient. But if you want to communicate something through via video broadcast, then you will have to arrange all those equipment that are required, and all those cameras and editing software that could be used and utilized, and the mics and all those things which could help you in documenting your idea in an authentic way. Oral media, where you just use your sound or voice. So here, oral communication includes face-to-face conversation, phone calls, speeches, presentations, and the meetings. So here you have to see that how all that particular information which is relevant to your idea could be helpful. So your choice of medium would depend on audience, location, message, importance, and the need of nonverbal feedback. So while selecting the media, you have to take into consideration any and all those features that are relevant to your application area. Written media, if you want to select a written media, written communication includes letters, memos, and report. So according to that particular pattern, you have to adopt your planning stage and your writing stage and your completion stage. A form letter, memo, or boilerplate message is often used for routine communication. Plate message is the message that is the kind of the original message or the coded message that could be able to assist you or help you in creating a document. There are certain do's and don'ts of the boilerplate message. First of all, the first do is do collect all the previously written background material about the brand and study them meticulously. Do include the tagline. And the third one is do make sure that you are sticking with the one perspective or point of view. And a fourth one is do go over your boilerplate with the meticulous eye to make sure you are using the most up-to-date terminology and information. And the fifth one is do include the website, social media handles, and stock symbols in order to see that if whatever you want to apply is relevant or not. There are certain five don'ts that you have to take into consideration as well. Don't stuff your boiler plate with heavy jargon, and don't exaggerate or make claims you don't or you can't prove. Third one is don't let this copy become too long. Make it very short, brief, and to the point. Fourth one is don't switch your point of view from first person to third person. So you have to stick with one first person where you have we initially started your narrative, and that narrative should stay stuck to one particular idea. Fifth don't is don't let your CEO or founder to be the last person to make the changes to the boiler point if you can help it. If the last person doing the kind of editing, if it is CEO, some important person, that then that person could disregard and disapprove whatever you have worked so meticulously. So my suggestion is that you even before writing, you should consult your superior or senior or your CEO or your bosses or managers, because they have this kind of tendency to poke their noses into the matters that you want to investigate. So it's better to consult your seniors and supervisors at the start or the initial level, instead of consulting them at the last, where they might overchange or disregard whatever you wanted to follow or whatever you have already written. So reports and proposals are factual document distributed to insiders and outsiders. They also should be taken into consideration when selecting about the media or the written media that you want to use. Next one is electronic media. Nowadays, we are living in the virtual world, and where you see that there are certain advantages and disadvantages of each. And when you want to use certain uh, features of them, then they could be helpful and they might not be helpful in other conditions. So first thing is voicemail. So you could use voicemail or any recorded message, any audio message that could help you clarify your stance, your idea, or the concept. It could be in the form of podcast as well. Second one is teleconferencing. So in teleconferencing, you could be talking to many individuals or other stakeholders, and then videotape. Within videotape you could record your message while using screen recorders or while using any other softwares or applications that could help you in developing the idea into formulation of idea or transmission of concept. So videos website also could be utilized to convey your written message that you want to convey to the other. Email is also a kind of a medium which is officially used, and you could transmit your ideas or the concept to that particular person or the group of people to whom you have written. Faxing, faxmile or fax machines are used, and where you have already composed a message and you want to send them after typing that in the hard copy. And then computer conferencing could also be used as a kind of many teams where individuals get together, such as you could use Zoom, or you could use Google Meet, or you could utilize any other software such as Skype that could help you in establishing the concept. So these are the electronic forms of communication that could allow you to convey your medium or convey your idea. So electronic ideas are also extremely important. Next point is audience, establishing a good relationship. Think about and who you are and who your audience is. Be yourself, be natural. Don't over exaggerate, and don't bring vanity into it, and don't try to over impress, and don't be underconfident. Rather, stay within your own zone, and that zone could help you in conveying your message effectively. Use you attitude in all your messages. So you can talk to the individuals by using you most of the time. When you are using you instead of first person pronoun, that could be more inclusive in nature, and your people, the ones who are engaged with you in the process of communication, could be impressed and could be feeling more inclusive and more importantly involved in the process. Always emphasize the positive and avoid the negativity, because most of the people are fed up of the negative attitude, and because the negative attitude could create the kind of traumatic experiences. So positive attitude could create positive tone, healthy tone, and happy tone. Establish your credibility through the choice of words, through your communication, through your transaction, through your business deals, and through all the information that you wanted to convey. So there should be the element of credibility in it. Next one is use polite tone, use positive face saving gestures. So those positive face gestures and the polite tone could help you in achieving whatever you want to achieve. Use bias-free language. This is important. Biases are the barriers that could stop the process of communication. So if you want to establish the kind of good relation with your audience, so your language should not be biased, and your language should be rather happy, optimistic, and very cordial. In a way, should create a kind of conducive environment. Project the company's image. That is important for you to project the company's image so that other people could be impressed. So there are certain biasness that you can see are there in our daily conversation. First, biasness is the gender bias. If you are patriarchal in nature, if you have this kind of superiority complex of your gender being mannish or masculine, and you want to undermine other genders which are androgynes, or which are transgenders, or which are feminine gender. So if you have the kind of negativity about the other genders, then definitely your audience might not be impressed. And if someone from those audience coming from the transgender background, or coming from androgynous background, or coming from feminine background, so that might not be that individual might not be very cordial or conducive with your type of writing. So you have to make sure that you include all the genders, and you include their relative pronouns, and you include their needs, and you have to stop stereotyping all these gender related terminologies, and you need to be more inclusive instead of showing your typical masculine or feminine gender type of reductionist approach that should be avoided. Next point is using racial and ethnic background. So while using the language, all those racial terminologies, such as related to the color, related to caste, related to creed, or dogmatic belief, should be avoided, and people should feel that despite their changing color, despite their changing complexion, and despite their changing background, they are valued and they are respected. But if you have this kind of disease in your mind that your race is superior, and you are coming from the ethnocentric background or some kind of logocentric background, and your background is superior while the background of the other people are inferior, so in that way your racial background could not help the individuals to come and feel the kind of homely feeling, or establish the kind of credibility you want to establish. So in order to do that, you have to see that racial and ethnic biasnesses should be avoided. Next one is disability. If any you're writing about any problem or any social factor, so you have to take into consideration that you do not discriminate against the individuals who are in some way lacking something. People, because people are not equally built or equally made with one particular structure. Rather, some individuals might have some kind of lacking. So if they have some kind of disability which is relevant to any kind of physical trait, you should be very much careful regarding that particular image that you convey to those individuals and to the other people. So if you are stereotyping those special people in any way, even the individuals or the larger audience reading your image would be not be happy regarding the approach of disability, towards gender discrimination, towards racial and ethnical discrimination. So that type of biasness or partisanship could drag your message into very negative determination and direction. Fourth one is age. So you have to take care about the value and the significance of the senior citizens, the individuals who are senior in their advanced ages, such as 60 plus. So you have to take into consideration about their needs and their problems, and show that all those elderly people are respected and valued as far as their interaction is concerned. So in this particular session, we talked about how two things that are related to audience and the channel, they are important, and how these ideologies could help you in selecting proper medium and proper pattern that could be oral, written, virtual, or any type of medium or channel that you want to select. And the most important thing that you should take into consideration is about your audience, because audience are the individuals to whom you are going to talk about. So when you have their trust or credibility, and then your message would be received and your credibility would be established with the passage of time. So if you have any question, any query related to these particular ideas, you can reach me out in the comment section. For now, I'm going to stop recording this particular session, and hope that you stay healthy and you make others happy as well. So stay tuned, and bye bye.